compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right, we had a couple technical difficulties. So Goes was putting out some fires, but Goes, how did we do? Are we making some strides? Oh, minor problems. All right. Thanks again to Robert Follis for stopping by and hanging with us. I think he kept it as real as he could, and you know, full disclosure, he is the head coach for Kevin Lee, so obviously you probably would expect to hear a lot of things that favor his fighter, but I really feel like he kept it as real as possible, and I think we did the same, Dan. I've told Goes on 2 occasions. We've had Michael Kiss on the show a couple times, and each time was about a year apart. And every time I go, man, that guy's a great interview. He's really passionate. You just want to be a fan of his. So I like the guy, you know. But there's no denying Kevin sat in this chair for 2 hours at least 10 times. So he's adored by a lot of Junkie Nation. Some don't like him, you know. That's fine. He's not too worried about that. He knows that if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping. But at the same time, he's really liked by a lot of Junkie Nation. He's been great to a lot of Junkie Nation. Right. Junkie Nation's been good. So it's just a fight where you just like, man, I hope both guys do well. Kevin Lee did really well, you know, but we had that unfortunate outcome. And so, again, this isn't in any way to disrespect Michael Kiss. That's not my intention at all. I don't believe it's yours. But I'll still stand firm by what I saw was that fight was done. It was on his way out, and Yamasaki made a slight error in just pulling that trigger too soon. But Jesus Christ, the way he was just eviscerated on social media, I don't think that's cool in the slightest bit, because I don't think it was that type of mistake, you know?
Right. But he needs to be talked to, right? And I think that comes down on the commission.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, this is the other thing that we all forget is they're probably going to pull him aside. They're going to tell him something. But somebody else is going to do something stupid, and we're going to be off Yamasaki, right? By next week, somebody will do something crazy that we're all going to be talking about. But it sucks that the people that it affects are Kevin Lee, and it affects Michael Chiesa, and that doesn't go away. They have to deal with that until their next fight. Michael Chiesa, you don't know what's going through that guy's head, man. He could be thinking, I'm going to win this fight, take that money, I'm going to buy a house for my family, this and that. This set him back now. So there does have to be some sort of consequences, repercussions.
For Yamasaki?
But I don't think, but I don't think they have to be that severe.
I think
because
a simple
a lot
conversation.
Of us saw, it just
This
could have went
is
a
what
couple
I saw.
seconds more.
Yeah, that's it. And but I don't think it was as grave of an error.
He doesn't need to be tarred and feathered or anything like that.
And about the bias thing, which is something that both of us for different reasons will come we'll all come in encounter with our jobs and whatnot, right? You develop certain relationships, and even though I actually don't know Lee personally, believe it or not, I never trained with him, but I'm from Extreme Couture, so there was something there. But I think Robert did a good job, and I think we all did a good job of kind of stating facts or examples. Like the caller earlier, I was just was talking about Kiesa's body language again. I'm just going to reiterate, anybody talking about body language, just go watch Abel Trujillo versus Gleason Tebow and watch Carlos Condit versus Damian Maia, and I think that will add to your perspective and make a more healthier sample size, so you'll see that that's actually not as an atrocious of call as recent and relevant examples. So go watch those 2 fights. I encourage anybody.
Here's a conversation, a whole separate conversation that I was having, because I chimed in with the Junkies. The Junkies had started a thread, and the guy I engaged with the most was with John Rico. Here's a question I asked him that I asked to you, Dan, and I asked to Goes, and anybody that wants to either call in or just hit me back on social media. I'm at MMAjunkie George on Twitter and Instagram, and we have Facebook.com/MMAjunkie Radio. What's so funny, Goes? What's so funny? Huh? Oh, okay. All right, and so I'll cut to the chase, and what I asked John was, do you leave any wiggle room for the human element? Because he was saying that, we weren't, the main event was spoiled, Sure, of course it was. Again, I don't feel like to the levels of what people are making it out to be, but I asked him, do you leave any wiggle room for the human element? I told him it doesn't appear that way, because he wants a perfect game called. Who doesn't? We all do. I just don't know that you're going to get it. Not just the main event. I would believe you want the whole night to go perfect, right? Those fighters aren't any more special human beings. They're just in higher profile fights because of their win streaks, their skills, whatever. But Kevin Lee was buried on a Fox prelim not too long ago, and now he's headlining. So they're all important. So all I'm saying was, do you leave any wiggle room for that possibility? Because, again, we have to learn from other combat sports and other sports in general. Rarely do 60 minutes of football go by without a bad call. Rarely does a whole day of football go without a bad call. Same thing in baseball, same thing in the NBA, same thing in every sport. That's just the human element. And I told him it doesn't appear that he does. He's very meticulous for how he wants it. And I said, it's going to lead to an unrealistic approach to your fandom, in my opinion. Now, that's me as an older brother talking to my younger brother here, John Rico. You're going to be in for a lot of misery if you think that we're just going to get it right, and especially because he's definitely part of the replay era. Yeah, you should see some of the decisions I had to live with as a fan when we had no replay or whatever. We just hoped that they did the best as they could, and this goes for all the people. We didn't land on the moon. The Earth is flat. Conspiracies. The fix is in. Shut the fuck up with that already. That's not happening, especially in this day and age. And so all I told him was, welcome to sports. And I really feel like a lot of people should start to at least see that side of things, because I just don't think that by the time we leave Earth, we're going to get perfect days of officiating in MMA and in other sports.
You going to get perfect of anything really in life?
Not really.
Yeah. And the thing with instant replays, I'll say this: like, I agree. I would rather have a cleaner call, of course, this and that. But even with instant replay, and if we, follow that rabbit hole down a couple steps in the future, what it hypothetically would look like, all it really gets us at the end is more no contests on records, because you're not going to, even if it's, even if we get lucky and the issue is a submission and not head trauma, right? And even if we're lucky and we're talking about a choke submission like we're talking about now, and not a joint where there's permanent or sustained damage, even then, if they were to say stop, okay, we're going to restart you, whether you restart them from a neutral position or you restart them from the rear naked choke position, where we're looking like an EBI tournament where we're starting guys from arm bars because the call was bad or this or that. It's not going to be fair to either guy. It's not going to be fair to the guy who's in a dominant position, because now the other person is able to defend, and maybe there was a couple punches that had him rocked and they were kind of out of breath. We're about 4 minutes into the round. You can't recreate that by restarting them in a position. You take away all those intangibles that were tangibles, that were fairly earned on either side. You know what I'm saying? So that takes restarts out of the equation. So what does the instant replay really do, guys? We're going to go back and just have no contest. And if that's fair, and it should be, I'm all for that. That's very appropriate. And I would like to hope that we can use instant replay for that. But for it to be an end-all, be-all, I don't think it's going to be. And like Gigi said, even though we want to be an optimist, we're still going to be facing bad calls, guys, even years down the road.
Right now, it only seems to be applicable till post-fight.
Yep, exactly.
The instant replay. Yeah, so for those shouting for instant replay, you can't even get it in until a fight ends, and that's only in certain states. And I'm not so sure that I want to stop a fight from the way it's playing out and have it come to a halt. I just don't think it's fair. Kind of like the Weidman-Mousasi situation. That wasn't fair to Mousasi,
right.
And these are all precedents that we're setting for the future of the sport. So we have to learn from it and go forward with it. Fight that right, goes.
Ain't that real?
Yeah.
That's just two different things there, right?
Coach can't wait to start the vacation.
He's ready to go.
I know. Well, because
he's already at the top, and he's you ever see the Flintstones? He's getting ready to slide down the brontosaurus tail, and just get out of here. Yeah, man, that would do. Straight into his car and head to California.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. We still have a few minutes left. 866-522-2846. You guys want to know what we have on tap for next week?
Sure.
Some scheduling has already taken place. On Tuesday, we'll be talking to Steve Bossy, the former NHL enforcer who's now a UFC light heavyweight. So we'll have him on the show. The undefeated Mark Diakise. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. 12-0 overall. Tisha Torres, who just recently proposed to Raquel Pennington. Right. Raquel proposed to her. She accepted, and now she re-proposed or proposed herself. I'm not sure.
I think she wanted to give her moment, too.
I see. Yeah, I wasn't too sure how that works, because I thought, didn't that already happen? But I guess the other party's allowed to propose as well.
I'm kind of feeling it, to be honest.
You are?
Why not? Think about it. You propose to your girl, right? And then
a few weeks later, she proposed
a month
to me.
later, She takes you to your favorite restaurant. You're like, cool. Tour of Italy. This is awesome. And then she
tour of Italy.
She proposes to you. Bet. All right. You
I guess
got a day out of it, right?
He spared me. He could have said, and then right before you eat your superstar or your Whopper.
Oh, by the way, the
He
tour of
upgraded
Italy,
me.
they changed it. You can now create your own tour of
Create
Italy.
your own.
Yeah.
Well, I love the lasagna. I
Chicken
love the
parm,
fettuccine, but the chicken
fettuccine.
parm I can have anywhere. So okay, I might sub in somewhere there. I don't know, Govs. If I propose to Juliet, and then 3 weeks later she catches me off guard and proposes to me,
If you got a good meal out of it,
I guess
who
I'd
cares?
just go, yeah, cool, thanks. But I mean, geez, the wheels are in motion here. I thought we already agreed to this, and I mean, do I even have to say yes, or do I accept the ring or the gift, or
It depends
it's
how
just
it
a
comes
free,
to you.
it's just
because
a free
if Juliet
piece of
goes,
jewelry to me? What am I gonna say?
here,
No,
George,
3 weeks later, or is that my out? Can I go? Nah, I thought about it, and now I say no,
That's
and that
the
cancels
underlying
your
issue.
yes.
Yeah.
That can happen. But this is the way I look at it. What if Juliet says, all right, he was so creative when he proposed to me. I'm going to take him to a Laker game, and I'm going to do it up on – now you got to go to a Laker game. You got a vacation out of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I might be down for this.
I'm down for that angle, but like
Yeah.
the whole like if a girl were to get on the knees propose, like you're at a workplace and your girl does it, like as much as you want to be endeared, it's like I think my first instinct would look around and be like, she didn't take her medication today. So like it just seems so odd.
It
out
does.
of place. Like what is she doing? Like, I want to apologize for her behavior.
Yeah. So when she
had a
says,
little-
"Will you marry me?" you're kind of bending down, going, "Sweetie, I asked you 2 weeks ago, and you said yeah. Like I thought this was a done deal."
But then she goes, so you don't want to go to the Laker game then?
Yeah.
That's it.
And
Oh,
you
I
go,
get it.
That's when you go,
I get it.
it's
Yeah.
so beautiful.
people around you are like, hey, didn't you? I thought you said you already married her, and they're all confused. Yeah, it creates a whole scene, right? It could potentially depending
Maybe
on how
Kim,
or where they do it.
Maybe Kim from Las Vegas can call in.
All right.
I've never heard of this till now.
Me neither.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
it could be that this is only for the LBGT community, or I really hadn't heard of that. But she'll be on the show. Michael Johnson will be on the show. Anthony Pettis and Curtis Blades.
Stag
so
week next week, man.
They're all locked in for next week. Should be a ton of fun. We will be here on Monday the 3rd, and here's why I mentioned it. It's not Independence Day, but a lot of people make these 4-day weekends and then ask us, are you guys going to be there? We will be here not only for Independence Day, but Monday as well. It's just tomorrow through Friday, Wednesday through Friday, that we won't be here. We'll have best of, we'll have some original content, and we'll have a replay. So SiriusXM audience, you will definitely have some junkie radio to listen to, some best ofs that you're going to get a kick out of. Danny put that together, and Goes and I chatted a little bit with some original content that we had. So we're not leaving you high and dry. We really try not to. These are our first 3 days off of the year. Goes was sick earlier in the year, but I still did the show, and I was in New York off one day, and Goes still did the show. So really, the show has been on through almost 7 months without a day off. But we decided we had to take these three. Our dad's birthday's on Thursday, so happy early birthday to him through this show. We'll obviously see him on Thursday and spend it with him. Next week's going to be cool. Are you guys going to the Hall of Fame ceremony?
I'd like to.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think so, too. And I might take a page out of your book and at least
Suit it up.
jacket, yeah, with a tie,
Nice.
maybe a suit, who knows. But I like that it's getting more buzz every year, and more people are going every year. And it is a pretty damn serious thing. And I saw Don Fry's speech, and I choked up, man. That was really cool to see him. He felt like his life was complete from the athletics side of things. You know, obviously what means the most to him. He said it was his 2 girls and, you know, his family. He's big on that. But the UFC is, in a way, part of your family as well, especially if you go 9-1. You win, what do you win? A tournament and an ultimate. And he only went 9-1 and only lost to one other Hall of Famer in his UFC career. So that was a pretty amazing run. So for about 3-4 years, that was his family, and so I think things were complete for him on that side.
I guess now you can factor in what happened in Pride, right? Because it looks like Pride's starting to factor in a little bit more now. So
That's good.
you could even bring in what he did there.
I think for the fighters, though, their trophies need to be dragons. So when they do the retirement speech and they give them the trophy, they say, all right, this is your trophy. Stop chasing the dragon, please. Because in that case, we would have not had BJ Penn come back for those unnecessary
What did you do with Lyoto
beatings
Machida?
yeah. Well, then they're just chasing. Yeah, there we go. That's
Hey,
weird. That's a double entendre.
Do we need to take another break still?
I think we do. Let's
Okay,
get this
we
out.
got two
and then
callers, and we got
finish up
MMA
with some
history
calls.
still, too.
All right, let's do that. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Dan Tom in the house.
They taught Andy Griffith how to whistle. Here are Gorgeous George goes.
Say, hey, you know, you can't, and you were very.
I've had that conversation. Told you, and I don't know this for a fact, but what if he told you, man, people think we're rich. I'm not as close to my family. Pay off my house, put some money away for college, or
I will say one thing real quick though, as far as any improvements and just kind of a general.
Aaron Poole as well.
Went limp, was choked out, and survived that fight with that much time left, just basically going limp like that.
Well, I pointed out that Holly versus Misha was going limp and then had a resurgence real quick, another fight, and then went out. Now, she didn't manage to get out of it,
right,
but it seemed like she had a second wind or a second life there. And that's most recent. I noted it because Robert was in Misha's corner, but you were about to say something?
Oh, I was going to say that example is kind of perfect to the Condit one, except Condit didn't go out like Holly chose to, but it was the same thing. They go limp, and then there's a reaction to a guy going limp and still making it out.
Yeah, I was sitting there trying to just think back of fights where I saw guys get choked. And, I mean, but he just laid there. Like you said, he went limp. He wasn't turning toward the choke. He wasn't hand fighting. He wasn't doing anything. Let me get one more thing in before you guys get me out. When is the award show that you guys are talking about? Is that Thursday night? What night is that?
The Hall of Fame ceremony? Thursday night.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame Thursday. Okay, I'll be there Thursday. I may bring my slacks and suit coat as well.
There you go. All right, brother. Thanks for the call.
Easy showtime.
Okay, guys.
Folks,
right.
We're out of here. We will see you all on Monday, July 3rd, with another edition of MMA Junkie Radio. We're taking the next 3 days off. There will be some best ofs that get played on for our SiriusXM audience. And I guess I can't lie, there won't really be anything available for the podcast audience, but you're always welcome to go back on our homepage, which is MMAjunkie.com/radio, and you can listen to previous episodes there.
You don't catch every show. Just go back a couple days.
Subscribe to iTunes, and you can go pretty far back there as well. The same thing goes from SoundCloud. We're going back to December of last year with shows that are uploaded there. So look for us on YouTube. There's some funny clips that are out there, or just things that can occupy your time. Or maybe go check out Ben's show or John's show, two other junkies that do work. The Co-Main Event Podcast, Solid, every week on Tuesdays. And the MMA Road Show. Once again, Solid, once a week. Sometimes you get that 0.5 on a Sunday after an event, but you can usually count on them on Friday mornings. Follow Dan Tom on Twitter at the MMA Analyst or the MM Analyst. I prefer that one.
Yeah, better.
On Twitter, he does breakdowns. He's got a website. He's got a podcast, Protect Your Neck, also available on iTunes. So funny, guys.
Somebody yesterday told me the ball busting never stops with you two goons.
Me and him?
He was right. No, with you and I.
Oh. Why are we? Were we ball busting right
Just
now?
the MMA analyst.
MMA. Well, there was another one too, wasn't there?
Analyst.
MMA anal.
That's always
YST.
That never leaves.
Yeah.
That's you can find
That's
it all.
why you Googled man analyst or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
You were just trying to look up his-
MixedMartialAnalyst.com make it a
okay.
lot easier to follow along. You get in trouble typing the anal stuff. So MixedMartialAnalyst.com. Thank you.
Protect Your Neck podcast. Leave them a review. Those help the algorithm, and
Yes.
subscribe.
Good job, Danny.
That helps a ton as well. And the same goes for our show. We have 498 comments. 2 more would be nice to get to 500. But if any of you listen on iTunes, that helps us a ton. We have to catch up on those and read them. And but I think we've pretty much read almost 500 of them. So we are out of here, and we'll see you again on Monday. For Danny and Goes and Dan, I'm George. Oh, and thanks to Robert Follis. Thanks to Brett Primus yesterday and Zach Freeman on Monday. And you know what I didn't do? Was thank our guests last week. And I'm going to do it even though Danny's dying to crank up that.
Do you know what's going on with Danny right now?
Yeah, he just keeps
Okay.
twisting and he
He's
wants to shove it.
He has to take a leak.
Oh, I
does
can
he?
tell. I
Yeah.
can sense it too.
I didn't do it last week, and I was so proud because it was a fun week. So I'm going to go back here. It's going to take me 30 more seconds.
So mad right now.
Wow.
You have to live with it, Danny.
I have the forever bladder, so I feel you.
I always thank them, and I didn't on this occasion. Last week's guests were the following. You ready, Dan?
This is making me have to pee. Go ahead.
It was Stitch Duran, Michael Chandler, Justin Gagey, Vanderlei Silva, Felice Herrig, John Fitch, Steve Morocco, Brian Foster, Michael Chiesa, Jakar Close, Jason High, this is slow right now,
What the heck was that?
Carlos Fodor, Mark Radner, Rich Franklin, and Carlos Silva. And with that, we're out of here. Be champions.